And we're off. All right. Ooh, looks dark over there. Off we go. Well, first part of the mission has been accomplished. And that is simply getting out on the water, escaping everything else I could, and some would argue should be doing. Mission accomplished. Here I am. Where am I? Well, I am in Algonquin Park, my backyard park, I guess you could say. But I'm not in my backyard part of the park. Algonquin Park is huge. It's a massive park. It's probably as big as some countries. Anyway, I'm on the south side of the park on Lake Opeongo. This is the biggest lake in the park, hence why I'm paddling a sea kayak, because you don't see many kayaks in Algonquin Park at all, because it really isn't a good kayaking park. It's mostly a canoe tripping park. It's got, it's world renowned for lake to lake canoe tripping with portaging along the way. And this is one of the few lakes that really makes sense to sea kayak because it's big enough to warrant a sea kayak. It's a big lake. It's, I'm not sure exactly, but something like 10 miles long. And I'm gonna be probably doing 8 or 9 of those today just to get to the back, towards the back end of this lake. Well, that's the second part of the mission. The third part of the mission is it's spring here. It's not busy in the park yet. The bugs aren't out in the park yet. And also because the foliage isn't really out, it isn't out at all yet, this is one of the best times of the year to see moose. Actually, any wildlife, but in particular, my mission is to find some moose, see some moose. And where I'm going at the back of Opeongo, there is a massive marsh, and it's regarded as the best place to see moose. It's got the densest population of moose, mooses, meese, mice, whatever, plural, moose. So anyway, that's the next mission is to make it to the back of this big lake. Fortunately, the wind isn't blowing too hard today because you can get some big waves on this lake. But get to the back and then see if I have time to explore Hailstorm Creek. If I don't, then that'll be tomorrow's plan. So this is Opeongo Lake. I'm starting right here, and I'm paddling up all the way to this back, it's called the North Arm, and I'm going to be spending the night somewhere back here. Not sure. There's a bunch of campsites, lots of campsites back there. But then this whole marsh section here, see how big it is? This is where there are moose to be seen. At least that is the hope. But then I have to paddle 5 miles back out just to get where I started before paddling all the way back home, because I'm only out for one night, which I'm probably going to regret. I wish I had more time, but you know what? One night is better than no night, so I'm going to take advantage of it. And in order to take advantage of it, I need to start paddling. Make some distance here, because I got a ways to go. All right, onward. Well, the rain is starting to fall a little. It's a nice spring day though, so it's not cold, but I hope it doesn't pick up too much. Lunchtime. Nice. The rain has just blown through for now. We got a lot of blue sky. Happy times. It's amazing how much just the feel of a trip changes when the sun comes out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 kilometers. So what's that, 4 miles? Not so bad. Pretty nice day for it. I'm guessing that some of you watching this have never seen a paddle like this before. It's not a paddle I use very often, but it's a paddle that I really love to use in the right circumstances. And this is one of those times when I'm covering long distance. I'm not dealing with real rough conditions. It's really just a long day of paddling. It's called a Greenland paddle. And the idea behind this paddle is that instead of having big blades at the end that catch a lot of water, that over a long day, that catching, you get power from that, but it is a bit jarring. It can tire your body out more. And this distributes that catch portion of your stroke over a much wider, longer area. And so it's easier on the body. It's not, people do say that it's as powerful as what we call a Euroblade, or it's a more traditional kayak paddle, but it's not. It's definitely not as powerful. It just lets you paddle for longer, more comfortably, and it does a good job of it. It's a different type of paddle. It was a little tricky for me to get used to, just because I've spent 30 years paddling with a normal paddle. But after a full day of paddling, I finally started it didn't feel abnormal in my hands. And now I can just grab it and it doesn't feel abnormal at all. I really like it for this type of trip. It really is a nice paddle. And this one in particular, this is the Gear Lab Outdoors iPick. This thing it's light as a feather. It's carbon fiber. You pay a premium for a carbon fiber, lightweight paddle like this. But if you do a lot of long distance paddling, it's a pretty sweet piece of gear to have. Anyway, we could talk about gear forever. Gear is a fun topic to talk about. Almost there. Campsite, I hope, is straight ahead. It's really calmed down. Can already hear the spring peepers in the distance. Even though I've been paddling all day and I can feel it, the shoulders have noticeably dropped already. It's amazing how quickly that happens when you're out here. This is cool looking. Steep, but that's okay. This will definitely work. All right. All right, let's go check this campsite out. See if it's a worthy stop. I'm sure it is. This looks like a trail. Oh, wow. tucked away from the wind, I'm guessing. Right on. That'll work. I'm guessing this isn't like one of the favorite camps, which isn't always a bad thing, because what it means is it won't be nearly as picked over for firewood. Might be easier to find some, so. And this is a really cool shoreline too. All right, time to get my gear out. Well, this will be your first hammock camping experience for me. I can't believe it's the first time I've hammock camped, but I've just been a tent guy my whole life. But I saw a couple of my buddies do it. My buddy James on one of our trips, and then my other buddy Pete, the River King, from the River King's YouTube channel, he did it as well, and they loved it, and that's all they do. And so, here we go. I hope it's not a miserable night. I'm sure it won't be, unless it rains. Or the bears come, or some pissed off moose. Maybe the bugs will come out too. I guess there's a lot of things that could make it a bad night. Oh yeah, I'm gonna like this. It's too early to go to sleep. All right, we got wood, and that was easier than it usually is in Algonquin Park. There we go. Well, veggie lasagna, Backpacker's Pantry, or Pinnacle Foods Chipotle Beef Burrito Bowl. What would you choose? I kind of want this one. This sounds good, the Chipotle Beef Burrito Bowl with cilantro, lime rice, black beans, corn, and roasted peppers and onions. That sounds pretty darn good. But I've had this one for at least 3 years, maybe even more. But it says it has a 10-year shelf life. I wonder when this thing is good until February 2028. So I guess that means I probably had it for like five, maybe even 6 years. Time to test if it truly has a 10-year shelf life. I hope I don't regret this. Well, I don't know. Well, you know what? Why not? Give it a whirl. What's the worst that can happen? Well, the moment of truth. Not bad. Not gonna give it 5 stars or anything, but could certainly be worse. I do kind of wish I went for the other dinner though. Rain stopped at least briefly. But there have been some bugs. That has been a little bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting any bugs, any mosquitoes, but it started. by the end of the week, it's going to be full on bug season. But not yet. I'm glad I made it out. An impromptu trip. Don't know if I'm going to get around to a fire now with the rain and my motivation. It's a lot easier to get motivated to have a fire regardless of the conditions, unless it's pouring rain, when there's other people and you're not as tired as I feel right now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to have a fire because I'm taking it for the team. Testing the hammock is important, and looks like now's the time. Oh, the rain comes back. I'm tired. I'm going to call it a night. There is nothing like that first cup of coffee in the backcountry. It feels like you're wandering around like a zombie on autopilot until you have that first warm drink in hand. Not a bad place to have a first coffee. Calm. Really calm. Well, I didn't make it up for sunrise, but I don't think there would have been much of a sunrise to see all this cloud cover. But once I have this coffee, I'm gonna figure out whether I'm gonna break down camp and head into the creek, or do I just head to the creek, start exploring and worry about camp later. I got some paddling ahead of me. Even if I just go 3 or 4 kilometers maybe up, I'll be 3 kilometers back. And then I got probably like 12 kilometers home. Not a huge day as long as the wind stays down. Ooh, I'm a sucker for fresh berries, nuts, a good breakfast. Well, I made up my mind. Although I did realize there was 3 options. One was hit the water, worry about breaking down camp after. Second being break down camp, then head out. Third one, when I got back here, was I got all this great firewood ready to go. I didn't use it last night because of the rain. Have a fire and chill out this morning. And that was appealing, but I'm on a mission. And so it's not going to take me too long to break down camp. So I'm going to take care of that and head out, and then I've got full flexibility for the day. Okay, well, straight to Hailstorm Creek, which is right over there. Not very far, about 1 kilometer. It feels like a moosey kind of day, this solemn. Yeah, that's it. It's beautiful though. No wind right now. You can hear loons all over the lake. Like there was a couple just calling, going nuts, fairly close by, but they're going off everywhere on the lake. It's really cool. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a moose in the marsh? But regardless, I've just been blown away over the past couple of years with how cool swamp or marshland can be. You know, most people don't think of it as a real destination, but it is. I mean, it can be a destination you don't want to go to in some cases, but in a lot of cases, it is one of the most remarkable ecosystems, and you see amazing stuff in there that you just don't see very often. Hopefully that's the case today. That's a nice spot. Next time I think I'll go there. Definitely easier launch and land too. Loading and unloading, especially a carbon boat like this, well actually it's not carbon, but composite boat, would be interesting. And when I say this boat isn't carbon, it's unique. It's called the Melker Kayaks Rodloga, and the guy who designed it, his ultimate goal is to build 100% sustainable kayaks, or build them 100% sustainably. And so as a first step, instead of using carbon, Kevlar, fiberglass, anything like a weave like that, used locally sourced flax in this boat to create the weave. Now it still uses the resin, and so that's the part that he is working out. And now this year, he's starting to use cork as well. And aside from being much more friendly than the other fibers, it's beautiful. I mean, it's a really stunning look on this boat, unlike any other boat out there. And so, pretty cool. Something is swimming up there. Maybe it's just some ducks. Yeah, looks like wood ducks. Beautiful green head on the one. Male and female. So looking at the map, I'm just coming in right here, and it looks like there's a couple kilometers that won't be super marshy. It won't be till I get back here that it gets more interesting, and there's a better chance of seeing Mr. Moose, Mr. or Mrs. Moose. But anywhere here, the shorelines are all quite marshy. Oh yeah, that's the marsh up ahead. That's where it really starts. Cool. Can I get through here? Maybe not. It's getting awfully thick. I don't think so, but you never know. It'd be cool if you could. Yeah, no. It's raining. Got to put my handy dandy waterproof housing on the camera with this very technical cutout for the lens. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oops. Over that. There we go. God, it's beautiful in here. There's no campsites back here. There's no real route to take you somewhere else. So the only reason to come back here is to do what I'm doing, exploring. hoping to see wildlife. What I love so much about swamp and marsh is that it's beautiful in the big picture, but when you get up close and right into it too, it's beautiful on a small scale too. It's just, there's so many layers to this type of an ecosystem. What am I? I'm about 3.5 kilometers, maybe soon 4 kilometers in here, which means I'll have paddled, if I just turn around right now, I'll have paddled 7 or 8 kilometers just to get back to where I started. So, and then I have around a solid 12 kilometers back. I'm not going to go too much farther, although I haven't seen what I want to see yet. Okay, got to go a little bit further. I wonder how many moose I've passed and haven't noticed. Whoa, that is wild. Oh my gosh, this is just one big floating mat. Crazy. Lonely Canada goose. What you doing there, buddy? It's cool. Crane just landed and started calling. Well, going any further in this is a commitment before I have a real chance of seeing anything. And so I'm now almost 5 kilometers in, which means 5 kilometers out and then 10 kilometers back. Got some blue sky showing up behind me, which is really nice because it's been cool, misty, all morning, beautiful, but with the wind picking up a little bit too, a little bit of a chill. So hopefully I get some sun on me soon. Anyway, I mean, I do have 5 kilometers paddle back out, and hopefully, who knows, maybe something will come out and say hello. But I think this is as far into Hailstorm Creek, as far as I go. I got a big day ahead still. This is just the start. Oh yeah, I like the looks of that sky though. Ooh, it'd be nice to get moving. All right. Thank you, Mr. Sun. Got one. That's what I'm talking about. Nice. He's not even eating it. He's just like showing it to me. Like, hey, check this out. I got a fish. All right, keep moving. There's so many things to stop for. That is the problem with Algonquin Park. It's hard to just put the hammer down. All right, drop that skeg and get going. Keep moving, keep moving. Unless something else distracts me. Squirrel. Well, I'm now exiting Hailstorm Creek. And, well, I'm about to start the big paddle home. 10 to 12 kilometers from here. Probably more like, no, it'll be more like 12. Actually, definitely 12, maybe even 14 kilometers. But it has turned into a beautiful day, so a good day for a paddle. And if I'm lucky, I might even get a little bit of a tailwind. If I'm unlucky, well, it's going to be a long afternoon. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this adventure. It's been a lot of fun, even though I didn't get to see the moose that I was after. Although, the trip isn't done, and so who knows? It's a long paddle back. This was the best shot at seeing a moose, but certainly not the only shot. As always, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to Paddle TV if you haven't already, because lots more adventures coming. Some bigger ones, some small ones, but lots of paddling tips, gear reviews as well. So stay tuned.